What up, guys? Titled today's video, The Four Horsemen of the Insurance Unpocalypse, which actually doesn't make any sense because unpocalypse isn't a word. It will make sense by the end of the video. But first, I gotta go get my workout in because today is another travel day, headed to Des Moines, Iowa for the 2018 Global Insurance Symposium, where I'll be speaking. Lots of thoughts, lots of ideas, very important to you and your business, regardless of where you fall in this industry. But first, gotta go get that workout in. All right, back from my workout, got my energy up, pump on. 6.5 hours of travel today. If you don't get your workout in, you just feel lethargic at the end of it, especially when I have a dinner with the other speakers this evening. The reason I'm so excited to speak at the Global Insurance Symposium this year is because this is my peers in the technology space, predominantly inside the insurance industry. Most of the time I'm talking to carriers or I'm talking to agents. And in this case, I'm talking to other technology thought leaders, vendors, providers, venture capitalists, the people that are really in the technology space. And it'll be interesting to see if this idea of the four horsemen of the insurance unpocalypse actually resonates with them. And let me outline it for you. But first I'm gonna take a quick shower because I gotta catch a plane pretty soon. Okay, four horsemen of the insurance unapocalypse. The first is agents. The second is carriers. The third is association and supporting vendors. The fourth is technology partners and innovation drivers. I would include venture capitalists in that bucket. These are the four horsemen of the insurance unapocalypse. And the reason I say unapocalypse is because if these four groups are not working together, everybody fails. Everything blows up. The disruption that I've said so many times is so stupid. It actually happens. Nobody wants disruption because nobody wins with disruption. So when we talk about the four horsemen of the insurance unapocalypse, I'm talking about agents, carriers, associations, and technology partners. When everybody's working together, everybody wins. And when we come together, there's nothing to disrupt. Competitors become peers. Disruptors become partners. Maybe it's important, though, that first I actually define the term apocalypse. Let's talk about what an apocalypse actually is for the insurance industry. But it's time for me to get on a plane, gotta get to the airport. Let's do that first. I had the opportunity to spend a tremendous amount of time with some very experienced leaders in this business, in particular Craig Welsh and Chris Klein from Westfield, Bruce Kelly, the president and CEO of EMC Insurance, and Dave Kaufman, the CEO and president of Motorist Insurance. And the more time I get to spend with these individuals, the more time I get to kind of pick their brain and just take a little bit of their experience and help me better understand my own vision for what this industry is, the more I realize that we cannot do this. We cannot do this separate. Every group that I've outlined as part of these four horsemen of the insurance unapocalypse, we can't do it without each other. We have to stop trying to cut each other out. And therein lies the key to this thing, is that this blows up this entire ecosystem that is so incredibly important, not just to our families and the people in it, but to the entire world, to the entire financial system. Every building that gets built, every car that gets put on the road, every business that gets started, every family who loses a loved one, they're financially recouped by our industry. None of these things are possible without the insurance space, yet we want to carve and cut and scrape and scratch for every half percentage point, and we're willing to undercut one of the others and try to cut them out of the system for just a percentage point. Guys, the pie is so big if we work together that it makes absolutely no sense to be so short-sighted as to try to constantly tear down the other groups. We cannot do this alone. Each plays an integral role in the future of our industry. And it is that space in which I want to work, this space of abundance. I've talked before about coming from a place of abundance. everything that we do at Agency Nation, everything that I do is about coming from a space of abundance. And when we think with that scarcity mindset that we can ever be successful over the long term by cutting one of these other groups out, that's when everyone loses. That's when it falls apart. And that's what I don't want to see. I made it here to Detroit and had a minute to look over the footage that I had done this morning as we're kind of editing and rolling at the same time. I guess the thing that is the impetus for this video is the rhetoric. It's the lack of respect that we have for one another and for this industry and the importance of the work we do. And I know many of you may say to yourselves, well, Ryan, of course I have respect for this thing. And I think that it's easy to say those words, but are we really taking the long look? Are we playing the long game? And in order to do that, it has to involve all of us. If you break it down, I think it's fairly obvious that carriers will always be a part of the equation, and that today, technology and innovation and capital in order to fund that technology and innovation will always be part of the game, at least for the foreseeable future. I think the two parties that are constantly in question are associations and agents. The first one, I think I addressed in our most recent video. I put a clip in this video already, and that there's absolutely no way for us to survive if we don't collect. And we're always going to need the legislative support in which the association provides, and therefore I see the association being around as long as the other two, without a doubt. So the last one is agents. And what bothers me is a true lack of understanding of the value proposition that human agents bring to the equation. I recently had the opportunity to do a webinar with Mike Rudoy, the CEO and founder of Jetty. And one of the things that became blatantly obvious to me is that Mike has almost no understanding of the value proposition that agents bring to the table. Jetty is an independent insurance agency, just a digital agency, like an Insurion or a CoverHound or a CoverWallet, and that to knock independent agents and human agents and the sales and broker business when you're a licensed MGA makes little to no sense at all. But it put a spotlight on this idea for me. It made me think there is just a true lack of understanding in the marketplace of what human agents provide. I guess what I really want is for the battle between insurtech startups and agents to end. We need each other. We can't survive without each other. It is absolutely, positively imperative that we work together. And only by harnessing this four-headed monster and getting all parties pointed in the same direction can we continue to evolve this industry. Here's what I know for sure. You cannot do this alone. No party can do this alone. Carriers have tried to go D2C. We see Nationwide coming back from a captive model to an independent model. We all know that a D2C model based on pay-per-click and paid advertising just simply cannot be run on a sustained profitability. But the other side of the equation is just as true. Agents need great carrier partners. They need innovative and dynamic technology solutions, and they need places to collect. And we know that associations and groupings can't survive without their agency and carrier partners. So none of us can survive alone, yet we always trying to cut each other out of the equation. And that shit, it just has to stop. It has to stop. It has become clear to me, as clear as it has ever been, that as a collection of entities, we are absolutely unstoppable as an industry. There's so much here. There's so much fulfillment and job, money to be made, people to help, all the things. There is as much need for technology as there is for the human beings that technology supports. It's never been more clear to me, which is why I will undoubtedly continue to bang this drum until everyone within our space, regardless of which category of the four horsemen you fall under, until everyone is pointing in the same direction and we're just straight killing it. All right, I gotta go catch this plane. I'm out of here.
It is now 2 o'clock in the morning.
Those stupid audiences, like the men of academia, cannot accept the evidence of their own eyes. The stage is set for the ultimate proof.
I won't be your assistant any longer.
I should have. I should have. I should have.
It's like having a guardian angel, sort of, on tap all the time.
I
And,
should have.
well, you be the judge.